Good morning, MCHS. Today is Tuesday, October 7th. My name is Aliyah Hatcham, and these are your morning announcements. Today is Talk About It Tuesday. Your quote of the day is Success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts. Students, please make sure you are checking the slides running in your advisory classes and in the cafeteria each day for upcoming events. This is the best way to stay up to date with what's going on at MCHS. The History Club will be exploring the Golden Route, visiting Tokyo, the Kansai region, Mount Fuji, riding the bullet train, and so much more. This trip is open to all 8th to 11th graders. Join us for an informational meeting on October 10th at 6 p.m. in Miss Tice's room N118. Scan the QR code on the scrolling announcements or email Miss Tice for more information. For today's lunch in lines 1 and 2 is orange chicken over brown rice with a beef hot dog to choose with mixed vegetables and tater tots. In lines 3 and 4 are flavored hot wings, carrots and celery with ranch dip, biscuit and honey, and Bosco sticks. In line 5 are Bosco sticks. Choose up to 4 sides with your entree, including fresh greens, celery and carrot sticks, fresh fruit, and Hoosier Super Salad. Tomorrow's breakfast will be breakfast pizza, cereal bar, or cereal. Now, let's introduce something new and exciting here at our school, the Maker's Den, located in room A134. The Maker's Den was created for all staff and students. Teachers can use it for classroom projects, personal use, or as a club sponsor. Students can use it during class or individually by scheduling a time. Keep in mind, all use of the Maker's Den is by appointment only, and after-school times are also available. Now, the Maker's Den isn't a club, but there will be special projects open to anyone who wants to participate. The current project is especially cool, creating enrichment toys for the Washington Park Zoo animals. Inside the Maker's Den, you'll find tons of equipment. 3D printers, crickets, a laser printer, jewelry and leather making tools, sewing machines, and a whole lot more. Some of the machines require training, but you can schedule a tour or talk to Mrs. Steinheiser if you want to learn more. If you'd like to get involved, you can scan the QR code to sign up. Plus, Mrs. Steinheiser is offering a leadership opportunity for students to become Maker's Den managers, helping create projects, assist with planned projects, and grow as leaders. So, if you're creative, curious, or just want to try something new, check out the Maker's Den in room A134. Now to Anaria Williams interviewing Detective Hernandez.
Hello, Wolves. My name is Anaria Williams. Today, we're excited to introduce you to someone who plays a huge role in making sure Michigan City High School runs smoothly every single day. One of our resource officers,
Detective Hernandez.
Detective Hernandez, is dedicated to keeping our school safe, thus helping us all succeed. Let's take a moment to get to know him better and hear about his vision for our school. How are you today, Detective
I'm
Hernandez?
doing well. How about yourself?
I'm well.
Doing well.
So, how many years have you been here at MCHS?
I've been here since the fall of 2022, initially as a part-time school resource officer. There was a transition of school resource officers within Michigan City area schools. There was a transition of just having one SRO to then putting a secondary SRO in the high school as well.
What title do you hold in the school?
In the school, I hold specifically a school resource officer. As a school resource officer, you wear multiple hats. You're a law enforcement officer, you're a mentor, you are to educate, you wear administrative hats, you're a school safety official. There's additional training that is included on just being a law enforcement officer. Yeah.
What are your motivations beyond your job?
What are my motivations beyond the job? Well, I would say fundamentally the title is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. The title is not what's important, nor should it have any weight on what a person does when it comes to being a school resource officer. It's almost like an intangible thing where it's very difficult to describe, but you either yearn for it, you pull for it, it's something that you feel is absolutely calling to you, or it's not. And that's specifically as a law enforcement officer, then becoming an SRO. I would say people have their motives or their reasonings as to why they want to become an officer, right? That as well was one of those intangible things. And there might be a multitude of reasons why. My upbringing, my background, my personal life experiences, being in the military beforehand, it felt the same way when I joined the military. It was just like, that is what I wanted to do with my life since I was a kid. As a kid, did I want to become an officer? Absolutely not. I had my own fair share of troubles. But eventually, as I grown up, um, I had a family of my own and 4 kids, and it just it just pulled me to do this.
What do you see your job as?
Within the building, I would say it is to have relationships, right? To build relationships, to mentor, to educate, to have those opportunities. It is a very difficult job because, between 14 to 1,500 people, students are in this building, right? There's 2 school resource officers. Can I say that I've had the privilege of being able to speak to every single child? No, that is the reality. But when it comes to the job, right, and I discussed that a little bit previously as what an SRO does, uh, it's not just building those relationships, because some people might have negative relationships with officers, right? When you're building those relationships, you're building trust that they can come to you with an issue to conduct conflict mitigation, to prevent themselves from finding themselves being arrested or finding themselves losing their education or making a very bad decision or choice by circumstance that can make it more difficult for them to succeed in their future when they become adults. It's being true, it's being honest. Like I said, I have no complaints, no, I don't know, how would I say it? I'm not embarrassed of my past, right? I've had, like I said, I've had my own trouble with the law as a child. And those aspects, those things shaped me to the person I am now. And I think that's the honesty that people, yearn for. Right? As a student, you want someone to be honest and transparent with you. You want them to tell you what the facts are, what the truth is. And sometimes it might hurt, right? But that honesty goes a long way because it builds trust. Trust that you have someone, and it's not just me, right? Other adults do it in this building. There's teachers that people can go to. And it doesn't mean that I have the capability of building an amazing relationship with everyone. There's people that we agree with and we don't agree with in this building. One student might not have a fond relationship with me or a teacher, but another student might have a great relationship with that teacher. I think the biggest thing is finding the person that can mentor you and help you succeed, right? There has to be someone in this building. There's over 90 something adults in this building, right? In some capacity or something, they're here to help. That's the end goal, is that you are the future generation. You are the ones that we will rely on one day. And it's like, how can we help mold you guys? How can we help you succeed?
What's the most memorable call you've been on?
Memorable call. So the reason I initially put none was not because there isn't any. I truly would have to reflect on that one because, unfortunately, right, I've been in the schools at a part-time capacity since fall of 2022, but I've still worked as a part-time detective, our crime suppression unit. I was an alternative for SWAT. It's I would say I've had more consequential memories, not negative experiences, but situations that definitely do weigh. Because as a school resource officer, you get to know some of the hardships that some of your peers are going through. Some of those hardships are far more complex than I've ever went through as a child myself. And sometimes they make a difficult decision. And then you have to find yourself arresting them. And they have to go and unfortunately they learn on a difficult path because of their actions. There's been other situations that, it's irrelevant. It's not related to the school resource officer job, but, there's been some situations where unfortunately some have passed. There might be a vehicle accident involving, your peers, and that does weigh heavily. It's I would say those, unfortunately, those always supersede when I try to think, like when I truly try to think, what great memories or what memorable experiences have I had? There's been some. I mean, I guess one that I can think of is, there was a child that was drowning. I was able to show up before the paramedics, and we began CPR, and that child was okay at the end of it. But it's like, what led to that situation? And then you begin conducting an investigation, and you realize that it was neglectful of the parent, not supervising their child, and alcohol was involved. Like that is a reality. And even though you can say that that was a good act done, I say that that's my job and that's what I signed up to do, right? But when you start to look deeper, right, you peel the onion back and you start to realize, how did this happen? Then you remember that there was some negative attributes to it, right? And I think that in life, it's real easy to remember a negative experience. And that right there is tapping into psychology. You can have 100 great experiences with, let's just put for an example, it's just a hypothetical, with staff members at Franciscan Hospital, whether it's a doctor, a nurse, a tech, whatever, receptionist. Mm-hmm. And you try to think, how many of those 100 experiences can you recall on? You have one bad experience, you are going to remember it, right? You're going to remember that bad experience. It's going to kind of jade you, or it's going to be a little bit of a jaded experience to yourself. And it's kind of like, is that a defense mechanism that we have internally? I mean, like, again, that's when you start tapping into the psychology of the human mind and try to interpret why that happens, right? So I try to maintain positive in those experiences and just understand that, life is very complex.
Thank you so much, Detective Hernandez. We're pleased to have had the opportunity to get you in the studio today. It gave our student body and staff an opportunity to get to know you better.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Anaria. Thank you for tuning in to the MCHS TV broadcast. Catch you on the next one. Have a great day, Wolves.